And we will begin this morning with the Daily Trust. And from the front page of the Daily Trust this morning is the bold headline: electricity tariff to rise by 300%. Units to hit 200 naira from 68. NEC will announce actual increase soon. And Nigerians overstretched. This is according to civil society organizations. And to other story,
understatement.
You know, that's if there's anything left of that. That the propensity to be stretched beyond the current point, it doesn't even exist as it appears. Gunmen kill businessman, adopts wife, neighbors in Zamfara. Dangote refinery commences diesel sale, pegs 1 million litre per marketer. That's some positive on the horizon. Although residents lose truck conveying Tinubu's branded grains. Well, I'm sure they were not taking them they can't wait to have them taken to some warehouses where you're not sure whereas these things go from there. So people are just taking at the risk of appearing like one is justifying in the loot, but it signposts the fact that people are really suffering and they would just jump on anything. Yeah. Ex-NLC President Ali Chiroma dead. Dangote, Adenuga, Rabiu, Otedola make Forbes billionaire list. They've been there forever, if you ask me. Deputy Police Commissioner found dead in apartment.
Actually, they say he committed suicide.
Well,
yeah.
Interesting. I hope he left a note so that we can understand what could be the motive for this, and how realignment in bandit hierarchy spurred Kaduna's mass adoption. And of course, we have there that
look at that
image. You know, sometimes
if he spends 2 years in office, 2 terms in office, he will still be in his early 50s.
Yeah.
Imagine being a former president in your 50s.
You know,
2 terms.
If they take out that caption, you could mistake this to be some university student taking some award
exactly.
from our
maybe Nan's president or something. God, I'm envious of Senegal right now.
I am.
Let's take a look at the front page of the Guardian newspaper. All right, here's it. Federal government finalizing electricity subsidy removal, plans 200% tariff hike. So which one is it? Is it 300 or 200 as reported by the Guardian? But this is a breakdown of the rising energy costs, and you can see the various developments in the past couple of years. NLC TUC closed ranks on minimum wage. JAM uncovers 1,665 fake A-level results. Peter Obi, economist, lectured Tinubu's government on how to reduce borrowing. Dangote, Otedola, Adenuga, Rabiu make Forbes richest list amid Naira devaluation. I don't know what that has to do with anything. So that is quite ingenious, or rather disingenuous from the Guardian. They have been on that Forbes list for quite some time, regardless of the Naira situation. Inside Lagos Assembly's reform bid to hasten state-owned justice system. More on that on the pages of the Guardian. 1 billion naira hybrid note on capital markets underway for Nigeria and others. UCH staff scaled down work hours over power outage. I mean, this is exactly the whole point. Services have not been improved, but apparently Nigerians are going to have to dig deeper into their empty pockets to pay for darkness, as Sunday put it earlier, just minutes ago. Let's get right into the analysis of the newspaper headlines this morning. Joining us on the program is the one and only unmistakable Mr. Ben Sherman, former director of news at the Voice of Nigeria, and we are more than happy to see him in his regal looking colors this morning. Mr. Ben, good morning. I miss the red Dara cap. Always looks good at you.
Thank you very much. And I don't want to thank the man who sent it to me publicly, but if you insist, I will.
Oh, is it the same man?
Is it the same man? I think we know.
Oh, I think he's giving you too many caps at this point.
Honestly.
Yeah. But, that's very kind of him, by the way. Let's talk about electricity. Everybody has, one perspective or the other. We're all affected by it. Where do you stand on this whole drive to jack up the tariff, because that is what would make business sense?
Let me take a deep breath. You see, electricity truly is, let me call it the backbone too of the outside security or insecurity in terms of developing Nigeria. But you see, the internal workings, when you unbundle this NEPA as it used to be, then you have the generating company, the distribution company, transmission, and all that stuff. It was expected that it was going to be very, very effective. Then you brought the Electricity Regulatory Commission. At a point, you just see that they are not really pro the people, neither are they really protecting the consumer's interest. Because a situation where a company will just wake up and feel its financial fortunes are going down the drain, they just feel they should increase tariffs. It is wrong. At the point the National Assembly will just be moving some motions we hereby condemn. That changes nothing. Now, you look at the metering system. Why is it that many of these people prefer to go to rural areas, go to where there are no prepaid meters? You go to estimated payments. You see many of these members of staff as alleged. They will prefer to go there and terrorize these people, say, you owe us this. And negotiations are done because you don't just see a prepaid meter where what you have consumed is really what you paid for, or what you paid for is what you have consumed. And so, when government says they're going to increase salaries, workers' salary or salaries, then you now electricity, you go take this. You go to all sorts of taxes, you go take that from the same salary increase you've done. This is exactly what is going to happen. I was saying the other time, I met a friend who has very big shopping mall, kind of. And at the point these people will come, you have not paid so ground rate. You have not paid so tax. You have not paid, signages will come. And in the end, how much they consume in terms of putting electricity in those shopping complexes. And they also have perishable items. The light is just not there. And how much will they make? The man said, how much do I make? If I laid off these people, as a family, I'll survive. But I also have a responsibility to help Nigerians by employing them. But the environment, therefore, is not it. So when you talk of this scary figure, 300% increase, 200% increase, whatever it is, this increase is just too much. Too much as in too much. Yeah. I think that the government should look at it so that investors too will be having interest in this kind of a country of ours that we so much love. Yeah. But some people should not manipulate things.
All right. Some cheerful developments, I dare say, Dangote Refinery commencing diesel sale to marketers pegging 1 million per merchant or per marketer. I think this domestic production thing is beginning to look like the game changer that we anticipate it to be. Are you hopeful that in the medium and long term we would get over this difficult hurdle with our energy crisis, for instance?
Yeah, you see, when you look at screaming headlines here and there, just look at any here that does not give you some worries. But when you now have Dangote coming on board to say, okay, prices of diesel will go down, Jet A1 will also go down, therefore the aviation, those traveling by air, of course we have it nice. Then we're having diesel also coming down. It says a lot. But my worry again is around last week when we had NNPCL saying that even Port Harcourt refinery might not have the required crude oil that it can refine, not to talk of Dangote. Now, you see, Dangote is going to import some of the crude even from America to refine here in Nigeria. And now, you're talking of a man who is in business. He goes to America to buy in hard currency. He refines here. Now he wants to do a step down for Nigeria. What price will it be? So if NNPCL is saying that they cannot even supply for domestic refining, then we have a problem. I think that this at times Tinubu should come on board so that in trying to solve some problems, we should not kind of be creating some other problems. I think that there must have, or there should have been some kinds of assessments of some of these things. Now, how will you have refineries that you said you can't supply crude to? You rather want to sell the crude outside and make foreign currency. I think that if the refineries are working, a large number of Nigerians will be employed. And the petrol, consumption of domestic production would just be within internally, rather than importing refined petrol. No, it shouldn't be. Because when they say crude oil itself, you look at what comes out of the crude oil itself. Some other products are there, the Vaseline, some say insecticide, some say engine oil, they all are in the crude. And so if you just carry crude and export, only for do some kind of trade by barter, take the crude, give me refine, then you've only succeeded in having one item. So I think the government should look at it seriously.
Okay.
All right. One other area is we are now getting a bit more insight into some of the coordinated attacks we saw that resulted in mass adoption in Kaduna. We understand now that realignment in the bandit hierarchy may have spurred those attacks. There are some indications that some of the leaders of these sets, have been neutralized, and in a bid to realign themselves or reinforce what they do, we are now seeing the emergence of new groups, coordinating attacks. In the case of Kaduna, what's your impression of some of these findings? What should we be doing differently? The fact that they can talk to each other, coordinate such fantastic attack, and execute successfully should be a worry for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be a worry for us, but the security operative should also be on top of the game. You see, it was an advantage those days when Abubakar Shekau had a fight with Boko Haram. They had their own fight with ISWAP, and you could see that Abubakar Shekau was killed by a rival group. And if therefore they now felt, let us, leave our differences and face government, it says a lot about a fight that is to come in the future. But in terms of predictive security analysis, I think that the government should do a lot. And by their own capability, you could see that many of Boko Haram and even ISWAP fellows have been arrested. They are under detention. Some are repentant ones, some very big ones for that matter. Now, what kind of information will you want to get from these people in exchange for their surrender, in exchange for the fact that you're going to set them free? What kind of information have you kind of sift from them that will be an advantage? What kind of, even in terms of weapons they have, the methods of operation, and have you been able to penetrate some of these factions? It's a matter of even you can fly a kite, you get some of them, release them. It's like they now go in there as moles. They begin to inform the security operatives. Now these guys are striking this way, they're moving this way, and I think they'll reach somewhere. So the fact that they are aligning and realigning, the government, the security agencies should always be on top of the game. They must be the aggressors, not the reactors. They should not, be reacting. They must be on top.
Quick takeaway, Sunday. I think this criminology story is paying off.
I was going to say,
and I think
he was beginning to reveal the strategy.
Coupled with the defense correspondent experience, I think we should have him on as a security expert now, and not just as a veteran journalist. But
I really just felt, not just, you see, in the fight against Boko Haram, I've been an embedded correspondent. The soldiers will give me their uniform. We got some training in Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. So we were able to bring some guerrilla broadcasting tactics in that place. And when Armed Forces Radio was being created, I remember with General Chris Lukolade, WAP, Maigida, we were always meeting how do we bring out a radio to a kind of manage information and security and all that stuff.
I can say where all that enthusiasm stems from. What the only thing that was left is to have inducted him to the military hierarchy and retire him from that place.
Exactly.
The voice of
I think it's not too late.
All right.
As always, thank you most kindly for joining the conversation. Really appreciate you for stopping by as always. Thank you most kindly for your time.
Always a great pleasure.
All right.
It's been a wonderful presentation today, you would say, whether from the phone-in program or to the newspaper reviews or the issues of the day. It's been electricity. I hope we were able to, cover as many grounds as possible, shed light around these issues, and foster a better understanding of the situation. And of course, also get your voice back to those who should hear how frustrated some of these policies can be for the ordinary Nigerian. And that's the much that we have for you from our stables this morning. Daybreak comes your way again tomorrow. I'm Sunday Michael. All good.
My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. As always, thank you for your time and company. Do not forget, 360 Sports is coming up at the top of the hour. Good morning.